Hi everybody, this is Norm from the Board Game Museum, and today I'm going to be reviewing and showing you how to play the game Elemental Clash. We're going to be trying to win 2 sets of 4 cards using what are called clashers and fusions. So let's check it out. So in the game, you're going to have 3 different types of cards. You're going to have alpha cards, omega cards, and zenith cards. Now these cards can be played in one of 2 ways. First way you could be able to play one of these cards is as what is called a clasher. The clasher is going to be the card that you're going to be using to try to win the trick, so to speak. And the way you're going to do that is to have the most amount of points. Right now, if I were to use the serpent here as a clasher, he would start with 7 points. Over here, these are going to be the elements that each card is going to represent. These kind of work as suits. And here are the elements that you have. You have water, you have fire, you have earth, you have wind. Now the object of the game is you're going to be trying to get 2 sets of 4 cards, and there's 2 ways you can do it. You can get a set of 4 cards by having one of each element, or you can get a set of 4 cards that have all of one element. Right over here in the middle, these are going to be effects that you are going to use if you play these cards as fusions. Now what fusions are going to do is they are going to support the clasher card. If I had this card over here, these 2 cards would help try to empower the clasher in order for them to get more points. So for example, this one says your clasher gets +2 if it and both fusions share the same element. So if this happened to be a fire, you would go ahead and add 2 to this score. Now you can do what is called a zenith fusion, and the way a zenith fusion is going to work is like this. Let's say I had this card over here as the clasher. I'll have a zenith card here, and then what I'll need is I'll need to play 2 alpha cards as the fusion for it. So in this case, it won't be 2 cards, it will be 3. Whether you win or lose the round, the zenith card is going to be going over here to the side, and this particular effect is going to be in play throughout the end of the game for the player that has it. Also, each of the elements have a rank on them, and if you have an element with a higher rank, you're going to add +2 to your clasher. Water is stronger than fire, which is stronger than earth, which is stronger than wind, and then wind is going to be stronger than water. So for example, if I had these 2 cards being the clashers here, fire would go ahead and beat wind, and so I would add 2 points to this clasher's score. Okay, so this is kind of the way it's going to work as far as the different phases of each round. You're going to resolve any start of round effects. Now start of round effects are going to be effects that are going to have been played in the previous round, so you go ahead and resolve those. You're going to go ahead and look at your hand. Each person is going to have 7 cards in their hand, and if you happen to have all of the same type of card like alpha, omega, and zenith, you'll go ahead and discard cards and just draw back up to 7 until you get the different cards. During the game, there may be a chance you're going to be having to discard some cards, so if by the time you end up resolving those effects and you have no cards, then you'll just go ahead and draw 2 cards. You're going to have a chance to play a reserve card. Now you'll be able to save 3 reserve cards. So let's just say I placed one of my cards over here as a reserve. I would be able to go ahead and play this card later on in the game as a clasher or as a fusion. Any cards I win, I can also use those to play as a clasher or a fusion. To point, we're going to go ahead and choose a clasher, so that would be where everybody plays this. And then everybody's going to go ahead and place their fusion pairs or their trio if they're using a zenith card behind them like so. Everybody's going to go ahead and reveal their cards, and we'll just start with me. I have a zenith card. This will be activated later. This one says here, reveal all cards you draw this round. I would just simply reveal them. Then this one says, reveal each card you draw until the total number of revealed cards equals half your omega's score. I don't have an omega over here, so I'm not going to have to deal with this. So now we'll go ahead and flip this over, and then my opponent will go ahead. It says, pick an enemy general. They must discard their entire reserve zone. So I have to go ahead and discard this card. This one says, discard 3 cards from your hand or 1 card that matches your omega's element. He decides he's going to go ahead and discard a fire. Everybody's going to reveal their clashers, and then you're going to go ahead and add up the scores. So right now we have the cat. He is a 6 with wind. You'll look over here on the bottom part, which is going to be if they are played as fusions. This says your clasher gets +2 if both fusions share the same element. They do, so now he has 8. This one says the same thing, so now he has 10. Over here, it says if your clasher is an omega effect, add +3. It is not. This one says your clasher gets +2 if both fusions share the same element, and they do, so now he is at 12. Now you're going to go ahead and look at the rankings of the elements to see which is stronger. Fire is stronger than wind, so fire will go ahead and add 2 points to its score. This player is going to go ahead and win, so he'll take this card and he'll take this card and add it over here to his pile in an attempt to make the 2 sets. Both these cards are going to go ahead and get discarded, and this person's Zenith card, since he went ahead and played it, will go over here. Everybody will go ahead and draw back up to 7 cards. We'll go ahead and resolve any effects, repeat the round. At the end, whoever has 2 sets is going to win the game. So in the game, you're going to have 3 different types of cards, the alphas, the omegas, and the zeniths. You're going to have to figure out the best way to use these cards. If you decide to use a clasher, you're mainly going to be using the strength and the element as the suit. If you're using the fusion, then you're going to be using the abilities that each of the cards has, and as you can see, there's a whole bunch of different abilities. There are some cards that have negative abilities, certain ones like you have to put this card into your reserve zone permanently. Others might say you have to give your opponent some cards. However, there are also abilities that will allow you to give an opponent a card or to discard the card and get it out of your hand so you don't have to deal with it. But even if you do have a negative effect, you still can use the card as the clasher. You also have to factor in how strong the card is, if you have any fusions that have the same element that can empower the card. You also have the Zenith cards that you can play as the clasher, but you might not be able to effectively empower it with the fusions. But you can also play it as a Zenith fusion and then have the Zenith card in the game permanently. So there is a lot of decision making, and this is what makes the game very strategic. You've got certain cards that are going to allow you to flip up the deck even to be able to see what your opponent is playing. So if you're very strategic, you look at what your opponent's got and you can say, okay, he may play this one, he may play this one, so I'm going to go ahead and play this. The basic easy way to play the game would be to play a clasher and then have 2 fusions that could go ahead and empower the clasher to win. You could make it more complicated and try to make it about, okay, let me see what my opponent has. Okay, let me see what I can do with all these different abilities. I really also like the way that you can choose cards from your hand, from your reserve zone, and also from cards that you've won. Even if your hand doesn't have particular cards you need, you may actually have some cards that you've won in order to play, but if you do that, then you're going to lose one of the cards and you're going to have to regain it. Now, one thing this game does have, it has a lot of effect resolving. You've got start of round, you have to resolve the effects. If you draw cards, some of them are going to have an effect. You also could have cards that have an end round effect. And so you have to kind of try to keep up with them, because if you have multiple players, you may have a player that says, pick a general, he has to do this. Another one may say, okay, I pick you, you have to do this. So there's a lot of that too. So you just have to be aware of that. But I found the game to be enjoyable. It definitely makes you think. You just have to kind of find a way to merge all those things together. But I found the game enjoyable. All right, guys, that is my review of Elemental Clash. We'll see you. Keep on gaming. Thanks for watching, everybody.
Subscribe and like.
And comment. And
click and
share.
share.
And have fun. Have a lot of fun. That's what you gotta do.